Hello all, welcome back to Anitronics. This video is about full wave and half wave rectifiers. What all I have covered in this video are the principle of full wave and half wave rectifiers along with their working. Also, the full wave rectifiers are further divided into two as center tapped full wave rectifier and bridge rectifier. And finally, I have derived the characteristics of both of them. So, do subscribe and hit the bell icon to be updated with my new videos. Now, let's get into the video.
In the previous video, I have just given overview of some of the mostly used rectifiers. So now let us discuss briefly about half wave and full wave rectifiers. First, half wave rectifier. A half wave rectifier is defined as a type of rectifier that only allows one half cycle of an AC voltage waveform to pass, blocking the other half cycle. These half wave rectifiers are used to convert AC voltage to DC voltage and only require a single diode to construct. So during the positive half cycle, the diode is under forward bias condition and it conducts current to RL, that is the load resistance. A voltage is developed across the load which is same as the input AC signal of the positive half cycle. Alternatively, during the negative half cycle, the diode is under reverse bias condition and there is no current flow through the diode. Only the AC input voltage appears across the load and it is the net result which is possible during the positive half cycle. So the output voltage pulsates the DC voltage. Now let us see what is this half wave rectification. When a single rectifier diode unit is placed in series with the load across an AC supply, it converts alternating voltage into a unidirectional pulsating voltage using one half cycle of the applied voltage and the other half cycle being suppressed because it conducts only in one direction. Unless there is an inductance or battery in the circuit, the current will be zero, therefore for half of the time. This is called half wave rectification. And now let us see working of this half wave rectifier. See, when the input is given to the rectifier, it will have both positive and negative cycles. The half rectifier will only allow the positive half cycle and omit the negative half cycles. So first we will see how half wave rectifier works in the positive half cycle. In the positive half cycle, when the input AC power is given to the primary winding of the rectifier, that is the primary winding of the step down transformer, this will be a step down transformer, we will get the decreased voltage at the secondary winding which is given to the diode. So now the diode will allow current flowing in clockwise direction from anode to cathode in the forward bias, which will generate only the positive half cycle of the AC. Now, the diode will eliminate the variations in the supply and give the pulsating DC voltage to the load resistance RL. We can get the pulsating DC at the load resistance. During the negative half cycle, the current will flow in the anti-clockwise direction and the diode will go into the reverse bias condition. In the reverse bias, the diode will not conduct and so the no current is flown from anode to cathode and we cannot get any power at the load resistance. Only small amount of reverse current is flown from the diode, but this current is almost negligible and voltage across the load resistance is almost zero. This is during the positive half cycle, that is the diode will be conducting, and this is during the negative half cycle where the diode will not conduct. Now, characteristics of this half wave rectifier. First one is ripple factor. This ripple is the unwanted AC component remaining when converting the AC voltage waveform into a DC voltage waveform. So, even though we try our best to remove all AC components, there are still some small amount left on the output side which pulsates the DC waveform. This undesirable AC component is called ripple. To quantify how well the AC, that is half wave rectifier, can convert the AC voltage into DC voltage, we use what is known as this ripple factor. So, this ripple factor is the ratio between the RMS value of the AC voltage and the DC voltage of the rectifier. So this is the formula of this ripple factor, which can also be rearranged as I square RMS minus IDC square whole divided by IDC. So the ripple factor of half wave rectifier is equals to 1.21. And there is also another point to remember. So for us to construct a good rectifier, we want to keep the ripple factor as low as possible. This is why we use capacitors and inductors as filters to reduce the ripples in the circuit. Next, efficiency. The rectifier efficiency is the ratio between the output DC power and the input AC power. So it is represented as PDC divided by PAC. The efficiency of a half wave rectifier is equals to 40.6%. And now the RMS value. To derive the RMS value of half wave rectifier, we need to calculate the current across the load. So this is the current across the load. If the instantaneous load current is equals to IL, that is Im sin omega t, then the average of load current, that is IDC, is given by this formula, and it is equals to Im divided by pi. Here Im is equals to peak instantaneous current across the load, and hence the DC current obtained across the load will be Imax divided by pi, where Imax will be the maximum amplitude of DC current. For a half wave rectifier, the RMS load current, that is IRMS, is equals to the average current IDC multiplied by pi by 2. That is, hence the RMS value of the load current, that is IRMS, for a half wave rectifier will be Im divided by 2, where Im is equals to Imax, and this, which is equals to the peak instantaneous current across the load. Now PIV, that is peak inverse voltage of half wave rectifier. It is the maximum voltage that the diode can withstand during reverse bias condition. So if a voltage is applied more than PIV, the diode will be destroyed. Now, form factor of a half wave rectifier. This form factor is the ratio of the RMS value and average value as shown here, and the form factor of a half wave rectifier is equals to 1.57. Then the DC output voltage. The output voltage across the resistor is denoted by VDC equals to Vs max divided by pi, where Vs max is the maximum amplitude of secondary voltage. When it comes to the applications of half wave rectifier, these half wave rectifiers are not as commonly used as full wave rectifiers. Despite this, they still have some uses, like they will be used for rectification applications, also for signal demodulation applications, and for signal peak applications. The main advantage of these half wave rectifiers is their simplicity, as they do not require as many components. They are simpler and cheaper to set up and construct. Now let us see what is a full wave rectifier. A full wave rectifier is a circuit arrangement which makes use of both half cycles of input alternating current and converts them to direct current. Thus, a full wave rectifier is much more efficient than a half wave rectifier. This process of converting both halves of the input supply to direct current is termed as full wave rectification. Like the half wave circuit, a full wave rectifier circuit produces an output voltage or current which is purely DC or has some specified DC component. But these full wave rectifiers have some fundamental advantages over their half wave rectifier counterparts, that is, the average output voltage is higher than for half wave. The output of the full wave rectifier has much less ripple than that of the half wave rectifier. Now, these full wave rectifiers can be constructed in two ways. That is, the first method makes use of the center tapped transformer and two diodes. This arrangement is known as center tapped full wave rectifier. And the second method uses a normal transformer with four diodes arranged as a bridge. This arrangement is known as bridge rectifier. That is a full wave bridge rectifier. First, let us discuss about center tapped full wave rectifier. So, it is a normal transformer with one slight modification. It has an addition wire connected to the exact center of the secondary winding. This is the primary winding of the transformer, while this is the secondary winding of the transformer. It has two diodes that are connected to the center tapping of secondary windings of the transformer, and the anode terminals of the two diodes are connected to the center tapping of the secondary winding. Besides, these anode terminals are also connected to the load resistor. This is the load resistor. Now let us see the working. Here we apply an AC voltage to the input transformer. During the positive half cycle, what happens is terminal 1 will be positive and the center tap will be at 0 potential and the terminal 2 will be at negative potential. So this will lead to forward bias in diode 1 and cause current to flow through it. During this time the diode 2 is in reverse bias and will block the current through it. Here you can see the positive half cycle one separately. And during the negative half cycle of the input AC voltage, terminal 2 will become positive with respect to terminal 1 and center tap. This will lead to forward bias in diode 2 and cause current to flow through it. During this time the diode 1 is reverse biased and will block current through it. So this is during the positive half cycle where D1 conducts, and this is during the negative half cycle where D2 conducts. Here during the positive half cycle D1 conducts and during the negative half cycle D2 conducts. You can see it clearly, and so as a result both half cycles are allowed to pass through it. The average output DC voltage here is almost twice of the DC output voltage of a half wave rectifier. Here you can clearly see it with the help of the waveforms. This is during the positive half cycle of the rectifier, that is where only D1 conducts, and this is during the negative half cycle where only D2 conducts. So the total output current will be a full waveform. Now full wave bridge rectifier. This type of single phase rectifier uses 4 individual rectifying diodes connected in a closed loop, that is a bridge configuration, to produce the desired output. The main advantage of this bridge circuit is that it does not require a special center tap transformer, thereby reducing its cost and size. Here the diodes namely A, B, C and D form a bridge circuit as shown here, and we apply an AC across the bridge, that is AC voltage. During the positive half cycle the terminal 1 becomes positive and the terminal 2 becomes negative. This will cause the diodes A and C to become forward biased and the current will flow through it. Meanwhile the diodes B and D will become reverse biased and block current through them. So then the current will flow from 1 to 4 and 3 to 2, as only these two conduct. During the negative half cycle, the terminal 1 becomes negative and the terminal 2 becomes positive. This causes the diodes B and D to become forward biased and will allow current to flow through them. At the same time, the diodes A and C will be reverse biased and will block the current through them. So the current will flow from 2 to 4, 2 to 4 and from 3 to 1. Here you can see it very clearly. During the positive half cycle, the current is flowing from 1 to 4 and from 3 to 2. And during the negative half cycle, it is flowing from 2 to 4 and from 3 to 1. Now, so this is during the positive half cycle where the A and C diodes conduct. So this is during the negative half cycle where the diodes B and D conducts. So finally it is a full waveform. Now let us discuss about the characteristics. Ripple factor. The output we'll get from the rectifier will consist of both AC and DC components. So these AC components are undesirable to us. That means they'll cause pulsations in the output. So these unwanted AC components are called ripple, and the expression ripple factor is given here, where Vrms is the RMS value of the AC component and VDC is the DC component in the rectifier. For center tapped full wave rectifier, we obtain ripple factor value as 0.48. As I said before, to construct a good rectifier, we need to keep the ripple factor as minimum as possible. So we can use capacitors or inductors to reduce the ripples in the circuit. And now, efficiency. Efficiency is the ratio of the DC component power and the AC component power. So the efficiency value is 81.2% for a full wave bridge rectifier. And now RMS value of current. this is the RMS value of current flowing through the load resistance RL, and it is given here with its respective formulae. Now peak inverse value, that is peak inverse voltage. PIV is defined as the maximum possible voltage across a diode during its reverse bias condition. So during the first half cycle, that is positive half of the input, the diode D1 is forward bias and thus conducts, providing no resistance at all. So the total voltage Vs appears in the upper half of the AC supply provided to the load resistance RL. Similarly, in the case of diode D2, for the lower half of the transformer, total secondary voltage developed appears at the load. So the amount of voltage that drops across two diodes in reverse bias is given as 2 Vm for D1 and 2 Vm for D2, and this is for the center tap transformer, where Vm is the voltage developed across the upper and lower halves. Now, form factor. See, this form factor is the ratio of the RMS value to the average value, and it is 1.11 for the center tap transformer, that is center tapped full wave rectifier. And the DC average DC value, that is the output DC voltage across the load, is given by the formula 2 divided by pi I max RL. So this is about a full wave rectifier. When it comes to advantages of full wave rectifiers, they have higher rectifying efficiency than half wave rectifiers. So this means that they convert AC to DC more efficiently when compared to half wave rectifiers. Also, they have low power loss because no voltage signal is wasted in the rectification process, and the output voltage of center tapped full wave rectifier has lower ripples when compared to a half wave rectifiers. This is all about half wave and full wave rectifiers.
So if you have any doubts regarding the topic, then please let me know through the comment section or mail me at anitronics.info@gmail.com. Thank you for watching this video.